Please welcome Kapehe.
I don't know where to go. Okay, aloha, LARACON EU. Thank you so much, and let's get to it. So just a little reminder before I start, just so we're all on the same page. I'm not a Laravel developer. I am a JavaScript girl, and I work at Vercel, the creators of Next.js. So this talk is not going to cover anything technical. Definitely won't be this versus that. This talk is going to cover communities. It will be stories about you and stories about me, and at points, I will get quite vulnerable with my story, and I truly hope you like it. Because this is my second love letter to the developer community. So we each have three major communities in our lives: our personal village, our work village, and our friendship village. And at the center of each village is you. Imagine a flame. Put it right here. That flame is you. You are that flame. You know when it grows, and you know when it fades. A good village will fuel your flame. It gives us no choice but to grow. Every interaction, every relationship leaves an imprint on our well-being and our state of mind. I found a simple way to always make sure I'm in the right villages with the right people. To confirm you're in the right or wrong village, ask yourself this one question: what does my flame do? When you give feedback at work and your ideas are dismissed, what does your flame do? When you're out to dinner with friends, what does your flame do? You're here at LARACON EU. What is this doing for your flame? After you found yourself in good villages and you've asked yourself, what does my flame do? So it's glowing now, it's great. Now your job is to help grow the village, to do your part. But how? I believe you have to ask yourself a second question. How can I grow another's flame? The person on your left, the person on your right, the people that you've met at this conference. How can you grow their flames? It can be something as simple as a smile or a hello. Do that, and the village growing takes care of itself. And remember, they have flames that they're trying to grow as well around them. Many of you may have heard my talk from LARACON US last year. I talked about 1, making sure you're in the right villages, and 2, building those good villages. All of those of you that heard it, did you do it? Did you find your good villages? Nice. I've watched all of you growing each other's flames in this village. Many of you reaching out to me with personal and private stories of things that you changed to find yourself in good villages. Your stories bring me life, and I encourage you to keep sharing them, not just with me, but with each other. This talk is everything I've learned since then. I've been busy growing my villages. My personal village, my friendship village, my work village. And since LARACON US 2024, as a JavaScript dev, I landed my dream job in my dream work village. I am now head of developer community at Vercel, a village of millions of developers, each with their own flame to share. Every day, I get to nurture the village that changed my life. And my husband, Chris, landed his dream job in his dream work village. He is now leading developer relations at Laravel. I'm super proud of him. Both of these came from nurturing and networking. Build relationships in your dream work village. Maybe your next job will come from those friendships. And on paper, it may sound boring. My personal village has had nothing groundbreaking happen, but I've never been happier. I make lots of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I sing lots of lullabies at night, loving every moment with my family, nurturing my most important village. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kapehe. You can call me Cap for short. You can find me on X at Kapehe_OK. I am head of developer community at Vercel. I focus on supporting open source, creating developer events, and more. I'm the proud mother of 2 perfect little babies. I'm married to the kindest man, and I am proud of the villages that I've built, proud of what I have accomplished. All of my villages are glowing. And I'm energized by this potential. For my work village, I want to support every open source project. I want to travel everywhere to host all the meetups. I want to support every student getting into tech. I want to do right by the developer community I serve. For my personal village, I want my children to be loved and safe. I want to be a good mother to those 2 babies that look up to me. I want to keep those flames burning bright. And that makes me nervous. The constant fear of letting anyone down. Now I'm left wondering, how do I keep my amazing villages alive? Let me tell you some stories. So LARACON EU. In August of 2013, do you remember what you were doing? LARACON EU had its first event. It came to Europe. And that was actually the same year that LARACON US had its first event. Artisans gathered in Amsterdam, and about 150 of you showed up. It was just a little bit more than the LARACON US crowd. This conference marked community building across different countries for Laravel. It was the first of many LARACON EUs. The stage was filled with amazing Laravel community builders: Taylor Otwell, Matthew Machuga, Phil Sparks, Ben Corlett, just to name a few. And today, LARACON EU is filled with all of you. This is your village. And now in 2025, it sits at 750 people. And I'm not just an attendee. I'm part of this story, just like you. Laravel in Europe could not have grown without you. With people like Simon Hamp. He's been working on building an iOS solution for Laravel, and we all just saw the magic of it on stage. Marcel and Beyond Code have been relentless at creating tools for the Laravel ecosystem. Tinkerwell, Expose, Laravel Herd, just to name a few. Povilas created one of Laravel's most comprehensive educational platforms. Laravel Daily has helped hundreds of thousands of developers learn Laravel, many of those probably in here. What started with Zuzana's simple Twitter question, asking if there was a Laravel ladies group, turned into a thriving community. Laravel sponsors women to travel to Laracons, encourages underrepresented individuals to speak at Laracons, and creates a space that most communities are missing. Matthias built a comprehensive directory that catalogs and preserves the history of all official and unofficial Laravel conferences and talks, creating a simple way for the community to access the past and the present. And it's deployed on Laravel Cloud. And we can't miss out mentioning a powerhouse in the Laravel ecosystem. Freck and Spassi are known for creating over 400 open source packages that have been downloaded almost 1.4 billion times. Freck has enriched the Laravel ecosystem, and I'm sure many of you are using at least one of these, maybe more than one. All of this and more, but all of this to build a village around a framework. a framework built to solve a problem. Those 195 people who liked this tweet back in 2011 when Laravel was announced probably didn't realize the impact this framework would have on the PHP world. It has changed lives. Work villages have prospered. Personal villages have been nurtured and cared for. And friendship villages have blossomed. Coming to an in-person event is one of the best things you can do for your villages, for your career. But I don't have to tell you all that. You're here. You made this trip. I encourage you to say that hello that makes you a little nervous. Say hi to the person you've always wanted to meet. Tell them Cap told me to. Go make that new friend before the end of the day. My villages, LARACON EU, and Laravel. These are glowing villages. There are many villages in this world, and finding yours is hard enough, in the same frequency that you need. It's a rare thing. Laravel and LARACON EU have built loving villages. You're not just connected to the core, you're connected to each other. When a village glows full of friendships and love, it becomes bright. It becomes a beacon. But all good things come to an end. It's the rule of life, right? The greater they are, the harder they fall. Nothing great lasts forever. Savor the moments. My daughter came into this world a little too early. She had to be in the NICU for the first 2 weeks of her life. Leaving the hospital and having to leave your baby behind is a different kind of pain. But she did. She came home, and I held onto that baby with all my heart. Everything was perfect, and nothing could go wrong. But then it did. It was discovered that my sweet daughter had a rare condition, one that required surgery. One that my sweet 8-month little baby would have to go under anesthesia. And my world was shattered. The surgery took 4 hours. Those 4 hours felt like 4 years. And I was helpless, unable to keep my village safe during that time, putting the safety of my village in the hands of someone else. I was terrified. LARACON EU also sought to own earthquake, something we all went through together. When COVID hit, the world shut down. All in-person events shut down. And all these in-person events had to make a decision. Go online or don't go on at all. 20% of pre-COVID tech conferences did not return to in-person. 2020 had 2 EU events scheduled. Both had to be canceled. LARACON EU rushed to make online work. And for 2 years, 2020 and 2021, they were held online, filled with talks and workshops. Could returning back to in-person be possible? The fear of losing this, the fear of losing these connections, looming over us for those years. And then we have the greater Laravel community. You all had a big change recently, the biggest one we've seen in 14 years. Laravel took a $57 million Series A investment from Excel. What does that mean for Laravel's future? What does that mean for you? Would Laravel be changed forever? Good and bad villages surround us. Some lift us higher than we could ever climb. Some drain our spirit dry. When you feel the anxiety, the nervousness, the fear of losing the good ones, what do? We nurture them. Those villages we nurture, they change lives. So how do we nurture our good villages? We protect them. Not with walls, no, we want to welcome others in. We protect it at the core, at the flame, and you are the flame. You protect your villages. Your good villages, why did you choose them? Why are they good? That job offer you accepted, that person you married, that friendship you keep alive. Your why will keep your flame alive. I believe there are 3 ways to protect and nurture your good villages. Number 1, transform fears. Every village faces its moment of fear. That instant when change looms like a storm on the horizon, or when the familiar path ahead suddenly splits into uncertainty. The funding felt foreign, a change the Laravel community had not experienced. Would the beloved village crumble? Instead, that very change unlocked Laravel, expanding beyond what any of us imagined. And while I read the first part of this to you earlier, I think the second part of this is the most important part. Taylor Otwell continues to lead as CEO, and Laravel is doubling down on building powerful products for web artisans, for you. Taylor was recently asked on a podcast in regards to funding, why do this? And this is what Taylor said. Some people might see it as, oh, you're kind of like selling out by raising money. But I see it more as selling out if I didn't do it. In a sense, this sounds weird, but if I didn't do it, I would basically just be coasting for Laravel as a community and as a product. I saw not taking funding as a disservice really to the 13 prior years of work and people that had come along this journey and bet on Laravel. And while we've all been traveling to Amsterdam for this event, the Laravel Cloud team has been hacking away shipping high-quality features, holding themselves to the bar we are all familiar with. Fear and anxiety, they're valid feelings. But ask yourself, is the fear actually an opportunity to grow? What caused flames to flicker in fear turned out to be an unlock in the right direction for the framework and for the community. Now, the second way to nurture your good villages, return to your core. LARACON EU went remote, went online. And in 2022, it remembered why it even started. LARACON EU could have been one of the 20% of events that never returned, but it remembered its core. It remembered that we are here to gather with people who like the same stuff we like. We gather because in person is stronger. When storms threaten your flame, like it did for LARACON EU, remember why it sparked in the first place. Now, the final way to nurture your good village, trust your village. That moment when the hospital doors closed behind my daughter and I had to trust the people who were caring for my baby, I had to put a lot of trust in them. Children are resilient, and my daughter is a fighter. And the surgery went flawlessly, and the 4 hours came to an end, and I was so happy. And, just 2 days ago, she actually turned 3 here in Amsterdam. She's here with us. Yeah. But she brings light into my life from her powerful little flame that she has. I'm reminded that our villages are stronger than our fears. Our baby girl had to undergo surgery. We researched all the doctors. We got all the second opinions. But now we had to trust it. You did the research. You picked this community. You picked this conference. I've talked to a lot of you over the past couple of days. Your hearts are in it, and it's amazing to see. It's safe to say you can put your trust in each other. Transform your fears, return to your core, and trust your village. Good villages, they change lives. Imagine a flame. Put it right here. That flame is you. You are that flame. You know when it grows, and you know when it fades. Thank you, Laravel Village. Thank you for growing my flame.
Them allergies. I got a problem.
Okay.
There's 0 questions. You just locked everyone to your talk.
Can I tell everyone a fun fact about this talk?
Should it?
So I gave this talk, Building Your Village, at LARACON US about 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much going to be a one-to-one talk, like I was going to do the same thing. And I was going to change the timeline story in that talk to be more like EU-based. Anyway, I got a message from Hank, and he's like, just so you know, a lot of people may have already seen your first talk, so make sure it's like not exactly the same. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to change the timeline. And then about a week and a half ago, I'm like, you know what, I'll just do a full part 2. So it's been about a week and a half, and yeah.
I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah.
And Hank is over there. He's smiling like crazy.
I feel like they want you to come out.
They're saying.
Yeah.
So I have no questions. I just wanted to say, maybe I'm going to say for everyone, thank you for that amazing talk. And mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you, everyone.